Okay, so here we got the E-flite Timber, and I've got a camera on, another camera, the Droneview camera on the back of him, so I'm going to try and start the Droneview camera recording now. Okay. So now it says the Droneview camera's recording, so what I'm trying to do here is do little flight with a timber.
Throttle cut off. Throttle cut on.
In a sort of dual cam mode with, you know, my hat cam from my point of view and the drone cam taped rather tackily to the tail of the plane for the plane view. No, Timber's a great little plane, short takeoff and landing. I've got the slats on. The slats are optional, but once you put them on, they glue on, so it's not like you can take them on and off at whim. The leading edge slats there, you see there. They provide extra lift and make it more short takeoff and landing. Because they do provide so much extra lift, you probably don't want to think about trying to do outside loops with those on, because he's just got so much lift, it's almost impossible to make him do it. He's got lights as well, you can see his lights blinking, and he's got flaps.
Takeoff flaps.
Not that he really needs them. He's pretty, even without the flaps, he'd be short takeoff and landing. Anyway.
Throttle cut off.
And he comes with floats. I haven't got the floats on him now, but I have had him off water a couple of times, and he flies nicely off water. Takes off in very little time, that's normal. And you can take him off in less than that. I wasn't trying to force him off in the absolute minimum there.
Flaps up.
He takes off in very little time. The other thing is he lands in very little time, but on water that you've got to watch that, because his natural tendency... Sorry, I had him in stabilization mode there. That's another thing, he has stabilization mode if you want it. Ballooning a little bit there. I seem to have him trimmed up a little bit, I don't know. Oh, you know what, of course it's the weight of the camera on the tail. Silly me. Put a camera on the tail, it's going to change his balance, isn't it? And that's not that light a camera, that weighs like... You know, he's handling it okay, but I was wondering why...
6 minutes.
And we loop without losing the camera. We sincerely hope so. I would hate to lose that camera. I rather like it. I'm a bit nervous because the camera's only taped on with masking tape, so I don't want to lose the camera. The plane is perfectly maneuverable. It's just I'm a little bit nervous, as I say, about losing the camera. I got several pieces of masking tape on him. The idea is that if one comes loose, others will hold him. If I lost the that was meant to be in a moment term, but it wasn't a very tidy one. But anyway, I mean, it worked. We came out at the top, but we didn't come out in the right direction. He would probably be. I don't know. Yes, he definitely, well, I'm not going to trim him for this camera because I'm going to take the camera off afterwards. I'm just pushing him down basically a bit because the camera's making him tail heavy. He's got like an ounce of weight on his tail. I put the slats on when I built him because I was thinking, I want to make him, when I assembled him, I want to make it an STOL plane. In hindsight, what I probably should have done is flown in without the slats for a bit and then decided if I wanted to put the slats on. I probably would have still put the slats on, but at least I would have had the experience of flying without the slats. Now, I'm not going to rip the slats off now, as I say, because they're kind of glued on. You have to kind of glue them on. Well, I think they sort of self-glue on almost. I'm trying to think. You pull some little pads on the wings, you pull off, and then there's like sticky stuff there, and you stick the slats down. And they're just made of foam with little legs. But you don't want to be trying to take them off and put them back on. So, what I was going to say is, I know a lot of people don't put the slats on because I don't think he really needs them for lift. He would have plenty of lift without the slats. You would have plenty of lift without the slats. Let's try an Immelman turn more. Not a very good Immelman turn even then. You would have plenty of lift without the slats. I sort of did that over the runway in case the camera fell off, in the hopes that I'd be able to see the camera if it fell off. If you didn't have the slats on, he'd be more aerobatic, I imagine. I'm not even going to try and do an outside loop with him. I have tried to do outside loops with him, and it basically doesn't work. And it would work even less, I guess, with this camera on the back, giving him extra weight on the back. But it doesn't work anyway, because he's got so much lift, you really can't push him down tightly enough.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
Yeah, maybe if you had lots of altitude, but he really doesn't want to do it. I ended up, recovering when I tried to do an outside loop with him before. I thought, he's pretty controllable, should be able to do an outside loop. Tried to do the outside loop, where you dive first, and so you're using down elevator to do the loop. But because he's got so much lift, you're fighting that lift when you're trying to do an outside loop, and he doesn't like it. So I'm not going to try. Yeah, see, now I almost lost orientation there. I just, I went a bit cross-eyed, couldn't quite see where his different bits were, although he's quite big, of course, as you can see. Not a hard plane to see, and it's chilly today for July, but clear, some bright. Yeah, we should think about landing him. What was I going to say? Clear. But yesterday it was very, very overcast and dark. And if I'd have flown him yesterday, I didn't have him with him. I flew the Valiant yesterday, which flies a bit similarly to him, but you can do an outside loop with that. I didn't yesterday, but you can. It was a bit windy yesterday as well. But anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, you would have seen the lights on this guy if I'd flown him yesterday. But you'd... of course, he's going up even more now. He's tending to go up anyway because of the camera on his tail. And then I just put some flap on. He doesn't really need it, but I'm trying to descend him now, and I'm basically forcing him down because he's not very keen on coming down. Now you can see the front light now as he comes towards me there. The lights are not very visible today, or two lights. He's got 2 lights on the front. Whoa! Little bit of a bouncy landing, but not too bad.
Throttle cut on. Flaps up.
He should taxi. Oh well, not if I leave. Not of course if I leave throttle cut on. It's not going to taxi, but full up elevator to keep the tail down.
20 seconds.
Got to be a bit careful because he kind of likes to take off. So there you go.
Throttle cut on.
There you go. Ooh, bit wet because it's very wet this morning. Unlike yesterday, which was a very dry morning with wind and being overcast. I couldn't believe how dry the grass was yesterday, but it's soaking wet today. Soaking wet because it's chilly and clear and no wind. Okay. The E-flite Timber. Oh yes, and oh yeah. Well, that's the second one. I guess it's gone into 2. I don't know. I don't know whether we've got a connection to the Droneview. It says it's searching for its connection. Oh, there, it's got its connection again. So we'll stop the video. Yeah, because obviously you can't stop the video when it's not got a connection. But so long as it's got a connection between, this is the little Android tablet that I bought from Walmart, whatever, RCA Voyager, $72 or something from Walmart, and I'm just using that with the Droneview app to control the Droneview camera. Anyway, there you go, E-flite Timber. Another plane I'm quite happy with. I did have to do some sort of little repair to the landing gear. The landing gear is notorious for being a little bit iffy. Some of these little metal bits in it break fairly easily, but it's got like springs on, but they're not as robust as they might be. But anyway, generally a plane I'm very happy with. And now this I was flying with a rather old Nanotech 2.2, which is starting to look a little iffy, so I've got to be careful with it. And what have we got with it after a 7-minute flight? Was it 7 minutes? 3.77. Yes, he's a little, maybe a little lower than I would like. Was that a 7-minute flight? Let me just see what I've got the timer set to. Yeah, it was 7 minutes, yeah. Yeah, so 7-minute flight. This battery, you know, unfortunately has probably seen its best days, but it still seems to take a charge and fly the plane pretty decently.